Improving the human condition. If there's a theme for this Tuesday's edition of Jamaica Magazine, that's it. From caring for the poorest among us and shoring up our immune systems to stay healthy, I'm Audrey Williams, and I promise you're gonna appreciate what we have in store. Let's get right into it.
The National Council on Education is currently seeking public feedback on the Jamaica Teaching Council JTC bill, which when established will introduce a licensing regime for the teaching profession. The council is now in the final stages of this process. Groups and individuals interested in participating are asked to submit in writing their comments, suggestions and recommendations by the extended deadline of March 31, 2014. Download the full text of the JTC bill from the council's website at www.nce.org.jm and send your written comments to the Executive Director, National Council on Education, 56 Duke Street, Kingston, or by email to nce@nce.org.jm. For further information, telephone 922-8021.
Teacher, show me how to do what I do better.
Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, March 25. The recently passed Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Act, popularly called the Anti-Gang legislation, could be signed into law before the end of this week. National Security Minister Peter Bunting made the announcement on Monday.
I have my legal officer calling the Governor General's office every day to find out how soon he will have assented to the legislation, because it's the parliamentary side of it is complete, and I expect not later than this week we will get his assent, and then I anxiously await the application of this new law.
Commissioner of Police Owen Ellington, who was at another function recently, said the public need not fear that the security force would use the legislation to abuse the rights of citizens. Pointing out that there were about 250 violent gangs operating in Jamaica, the police chief said this new piece of legislation was a well-needed tool for law enforcers.
There's no other country that has achieved significant successes against transnational organized crime and gang without a comprehensive reform of its entire criminal justice community.
Meanwhile, the police's mobile capacity has been enhanced with the acquisition of 13 motorcycles and 2 jeeps. The bikes represent the final tranche of vehicles bought through the National Security Ministry's police mobility budget for fiscal year 2013-2014.
The traffic department, to which the motorcycles are going to be assigned, has a tremendous task to maintain order on our streets. Last year we had over 300 fatalities on the road, which turned back a very positive trend which had been developing over years. And this year we're hoping that we can bring that positive trend back in line.
The 4x4 pickups, meanwhile, were donated by the National Road Operating and Construction Company for the police to use on the north-south corridor of Highway 2000. The Portia Simpson Miller-led administration is moving ahead to revamp government's public procurement system to achieve greater levels of transparency, equity and efficiency. Minister with responsibility for the public service, Horace Daly, says there will be persons in each ministry assigned to execute this program.
Public officers must improve their skills in public procurement, and at the same time this system must be improved. There will be this brand new public procurement law coming. The handbook will be revised, and Minister Davies, who is leading major projects in Jamaica for the growth agenda, knows that we have to treat with economic developmental projects in a particular way.
In the short term, he says standard bidding documents will be revised and steps are being taken to implement a fair and robust contractor performance assessment system. The Finance Ministry is also re-examining the makeup of procurement committees and units and is looking to put in a grading system for public procurement professionals. Procurement training will also be made available.
The training of a specialized cadre of persons who will be dealing with procurement issues is a critical and non-negotiable aspect of improving the procurement process.
The ministers were speaking at a 4-day GOJ public procurement conference held at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel recently. The Agriculture Ministry's capacity to carry out product testing and certification for compliance with international standards has been strengthened. The ministry recently received more than $67 million worth of laboratory equipment through the European Union-funded Economic Partnership Agreement (EPA) capacity building project. It's being administered by the Planning Institute of Jamaica.
With this support, Jamaica is on its way to achieving world-class agricultural, health and food quality systems.
The equipment will be distributed to the chemistry and microbiology laboratories at the Ministry's Veterinary Services Division in Kingston and the plant virology and plant pathology labs at the Bodles Research Station in St. Catherine.
This equipment will enable us to concentrate supplies and samples of analysis, store fish and meat samples before analysis, provide a sterile environment for microbiological work being carried out, as well as analyze toxins, veterinary drugs and pesticides.
And finally, work on the Red Hills to Bog Walk roadway is on target for completion by June this year, in time for the start of the 2014 hurricane season. A recent tour by Transport and Works State Minister Richard Dazan revealed that the $727 million project was at an advanced stage and within budget.
We are widening, putting in retaining wall, drainage, and repaving the road. There are about 23 kilometers of road from Red Hills to Bog Walk, and so far is about 80% of the work is completed so far.
The Red Hills to Bog Walk roadway serves as an alternate route to the Bog Walk Gorge that becomes impossible during flood events. The rehabilitation project started in August last year under the Transportation Infrastructure Rehabilitation Program. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.
There'll be a better tomorrow. 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 There'll be a day. There'll be a way. There'll come a time to sing a brand new song. There'll be a better tomorrow.
When we think of the work of the local government ministry, taking care of the nation's poor may not readily come to mind. But that's one of the critical services provided. Our team recently traveled to Maypen, Clarendon to catch up on some of the poor relief efforts in that part of the island. This is a typical Tuesday afternoon for volunteers from the Clarendon Poor Relief Department, combing the streets of the Maypen town, ensuring that homeless persons are given a hot meal. It's just one of the services offered to the poor and destitute, not only in Clarendon, but island-wide. The duty to support the welfare of the nation's poor falls within the Board of Supervision, an agency under the Ministry of Local Government. In each parish, programs are coordinated by the parish councils and the poor relief departments.
We really supervise homeless programs across the island, working with parish councils and also NGOs who deliver services to those who are homeless. We want to ensure that these services are delivered in the acceptable standard, that persons are rehabilitated and are able to contribute to community development.
Working with state and private sector partners, administrators at the Board of Supervision try to provide relief to the homeless, residents of infirmaries and persons living in substandard conditions at personal residences.
We have outdoor persons on the outdoor, persons who we actually assist, and they live in their communities. They need food, they need medical attention and housing and assistance for children. We give an allowance. Once a person is relieved, then automatically they should be assisted by the PASS program.
A country that doesn't care for the old and the less fortunate is not a country which is moving in the right direction. And a council which is not doing the same is not a council which is moving in the right direction.
The last survey of homeless persons conducted in November 2013 captured 77 of them in Clarendon, making it the parish with the third largest homeless population. So poor relief officers have seen the need to beef up their services in the area. A new poor relief office was opened in Rock River in February 2014. That's in addition to 8 other offices scattered across the parish to ensure officers stay close to the communities they serve. Persons who require assistance can visit the nearest poor relief department, get registered, and wait for a home visit to determine the nature of assistance needed. In addition to that, there's a poor relief committee that works to craft additional programs.
We meet monthly, and whatever we discuss, we notice that there's a lot of improvement at the infirmary and other places around the parish regarding the poor.
This is one initiative that resulted from those meetings, the opening of an activities center at the parish's infirmary.
Persons tend to underestimate the importance of elderly persons having things to do and contributing to their whole living, their whole livelihood. So we really appreciate and endorse this move.
We've always had residents who do bits and pieces of activity, but then I think if we have it more coordinated, and there's an activity director here, and I think it's a base for her where she can gather all her active residents. They're in one location.
Some have varying levels of ability. So maybe they can crochet, they can use the sewing machine. There's a man here that can make shoes or mats out of the banana bark. They might just want to come in and read editorial in the paper or just do a little painting. But whoever can be engaged to whatever degree, this is the center that they ought to go to. And this will be improved as time goes by.
Added to the $1.3 million spent to upgrade the physical structure of the infirmary in 2013, the center's opening represents another step in the modernization of services to the less fortunate. And the administrators are careful to not neglect the general health of the infirmary's over 138 residents. To ensure they keep in tip-top shape, a weekly schedule of consultations is rotated with a medical professional.
We've got persons with different conditions, hypertensive, diabetic, cardiac, cosmetics, and all that. So doctor couldn't have seen like X amount of person within a day. So based on that, then he has to come like once per week to ensure that over a period of time, all the residents are seen and treated.
And just next door, the parish council has identified a building which it will be developing as a homeless shelter.
Our vision in Clarendon is to have a center where those persons can be able to be examined by a medical practitioner, can be able to have a bath, a change of clothes, and even try to re-socialize with society.
Clarendon is able to do all this with the assistance of subventions from the local government and labor ministries, as well as the kind support of its partners. Similar programs exist in all parishes, so if you need assistance or know someone who does, don't hesitate to contact the Board of Supervision, 85 Halfway Tree Road, Kingston 10, telephone 754-0992-9. Each time you're not paying full attention to the road environment, the greater your chances of getting in a crash like that.
Plan routes to avoid focusing on GPS systems, prevent children from roaming in motor vehicles, turn down the volume of car stereo systems, pull off the roadway if you have to use mobile devices, do not read, watch television or eat while driving, avoid multitasking, and keep conversations with other passengers to a minimum. Whether you walk, ride or drive, avoid potentially fatal distractions.
You know how many cases I've heard of people traveling on the buses on their way to school or work, and when they reach for their cash to pay their fare, it's not there. Unfortunate, but it happens all too often. But maybe not for much longer. Making travel safer is just one benefit of the JUTC's new cashless system.
The world and the way we live as human beings are constantly evolving towards new targets of efficiency. Technology is a driving force behind the new social order. And as part of the developments, an emerging cashless society is rolling out in full force. From buying goods to paying for services, everything is becoming electronic and automated, even in transportation. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, designed to operate as a centrally managed state-of-the-art public bus service, is up to the time with the technologies and is taking its customers on board.
Many of the first world countries and other countries that are far more developed than Jamaica have chosen to go this automated route.
As of June 1, 2014, the JUTC is a cashless service.
This means that no commuter will be allowed to pay cash to take any of our buses.
The new electronic fare collection system utilizes a smarter card, an upgrade on an early attempt to go cashless. The new card is easy to use. Commuters simply swipe it on the card evaluator installed in the bus and select the option for the desired fare. The amount is deducted and a ticket is printed.
The receipt will have things such as the driver's number. It will have the date of purchase. It also has the time of purchase. It also has the balance that would be on your smarter card.
All of this makes for a fast way to go about your business and less distractions for the bus operators, whose safety is also being improved with the new system.
The drivers themselves would be normally collecting the fares of the passengers, and this can amount to large volumes of money sometimes. So for safety, we recognize that this is the way to go.
And since commuters need not walk around with cash for fares, it's also a deterrent to pickpockets. JUTC is also expecting its operators to now have more time for improved customer relations without the worry of keeping track of money. Ahead of the June 1 crossover to the cashless system, the JUTC acquired and began distributing over 60,000 smarter cards to the public. Distribution outlets have been strategically located within JUTC's operating zones.
We want to ensure that every commuter, once they so desire, can easily access a smarter card.
Cards are in circulation at JUTC sales offices in the corporate area, including the JUTC Spanish Town lay-by in St. Catherine and the Halfway Tree Transport Center and East Parade office in Kingston. There is no cost for the card itself, and application is easy.
There is a form, simple form that you fill out. It has a profile that will be created for you, and that profile is what will be reflected on the card every time you use it. The areas of the profile sheet include things such as your name, your age, your occupation, and most importantly, your date of birth.
Your smarter card comes blank, and you will need to put an amount of your choice on it and top up after.
We're advising the traveling public that you put on what would be the equivalent of a round trip. So it is advisable if you're an adult, for example, you put $200 on. That would be the equivalent of a round trip. If you're a child or any of our special groups, then you would put on a minimum of $40, which constitutes a round trip.
Children up to 11 years of age are issued with a child card, which means that they can access the concession fare 24/7. Children between the ages of 12 and 20, once in uniform and with an ID, pays the concession fare as well. Over 12 to 20, with a student card, will pay the full fare on a weekend.
Top up as your pocket allows, up to a maximum of $20,000. Special groups, including children, the disabled, and the seniors, pay a concessionary rate of $20 with the Smarter card.
Have you got your Smarter card yet? Get it now. And if you already have it, then start using it. Persons who wish to find out more about the Smarter card can call the JUTC head office at 749-319229 or the Smarter card hotline.
We want a productive Jamaica. We are not productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, Pathway to Prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Okay, so you just heard how the JUTC's cashless system works. Let's head out the road and see if Jamaicans are on board.
You pick 1, 2, 3 and go. Right? It's good.
You don't have to take out the money, I just put it on there and go through.
It's much easier for me because you see, I don't have to worry about having the cash right away to pay the bus. So when I come and just put it on the machine and it go, I don't have to wait that long to make change or anything.
It's very speedy when you go on the bus. I just got my card and I'm thankful for it because I can save back $80 from $100, so it's good. You get to get through fast when you're on the bus. You don't have to stop to get any change or anything like that. You go up, you punch your card and you're gone through.
Did you know regular physical activity controls your weight, reduces your risk of cardiovascular diseases, reduces your risk for type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, reduces your risk of some cancers, strengthens your bones and muscles, and increases your chance of living longer? Get active, get fit, stay healthy.
The magazine is taking a healthy turn now, and it's timely. Trust me. See, more and more persons are getting the flu, and according to those who should know, a dose of vitamin C will help to boost your immune system and fight the virus. HealthWise has the facts on vitamin C.
If you're like most kids, you've probably heard at least one parent say, "Don't forget to take your vitamins. Eat your fruits and salads. They're packed with vitamins." And you heed the advice. But do you know why? Do you know what exactly vitamins are?
Vitamins are substances that are found in foods we eat. Our body needs them to work properly. Each vitamin has a special role to play. For example, vitamin D in milk helps us develop strong bones and teeth. Vitamin A in carrots helps us to see at night. Vitamin C in oranges helps our bodies to heal from a cut. And B vitamins in leafy green vegetables help our bodies make protein and energy. There are two categories of vitamins, fat-soluble and water-soluble. Fat-soluble vitamins are the ones called A, D, E, and K.
When we eat foods that contain fat-soluble vitamins, the essential nutrients are stored in the fatty tissues of our bodies and our livers until our bodies need them.
The water-soluble vitamins are C and B complex. These cannot be stored in our bodies and will dissolve in water before our bodies can absorb them. Any vitamin C or B that our bodies do not use pass through our systems, mostly when we urinate. So they need to be replaced regularly to ensure a fresh supply every day.
But let's break it down and take a look at one of these vitamins, C.
Vitamin C is often referred to as the cold-fighting vitamin. It is also known as a wonder worker because it plays an important role in building and maintaining our tissues. Doctors say it can enhance the function of the immune system and plays a role in the formation of important enzymes in the body. Vitamin C is important because it protects the body from skin diseases, respiratory infections, and cardiovascular problems.
According to nutritionists, human beings cannot produce their own supply of vitamin C, so we have to obtain it through our diet.
Vitamin C is found in citrus and other fruits such as oranges, limes, lemons, tangerines, grapefruit, papaya, strawberries, melons, and cantaloupes. It can also be found in vegetables like tomatoes, broccoli, green and red bell peppers, potatoes, peas, raw lettuce, and cabbage.
Vitamin C can be lost easily during cooking, particularly frying, so it's recommended that people steam their vegetables to minimize loss.
Vitamin C is also good for preserving the body from aches, pains, and heart disease. If we do not have enough vitamin C in our systems, it could lead to health complications. Diseases or ailments may include gum bleeding, skin discoloration, lack of energy, tooth decay, poor wound healing, easy bruising, loss of appetite, and pain in the joints. According to medical experts, there are certain groups of persons who can easily use up ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C found in citrus and green vegetables, more rapidly than others. These are alcohol consumers, smokers, diabetics, individuals under stressful conditions or fever, and the elderly.
It is important to remember that vitamin C is also a highly effective antioxidant.
For additional information on vitamin C, consult your doctor or nutritionist. You can also get valuable tips from any government health institution close to you. So be health-wise.
Sports is supposed to be an integrative force in assuring good values and strong character building. Sports generally, and champs in particular, is not about winning, it's about competition, it's about cooperation.
Not all of us can do great things, but we can all do small things with great love. I think these words of inspiration are the perfect way to close the pages of our magazine today. Thank you so much for sharing the experience with me. Please share your feedback with us by emailing jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. And be sure to visit our website, jis.gov.jm, as well as keep the connection through Facebook and Twitter. On behalf of the hardworking JIS team, have a good evening.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.